Within our opening sequence, we conformed and conflicted common ideologies of codes and conventions of the thriller genre. In our production, the antagonist is a female character, which subverts the hegemonic view, this is using Gramsci's dominant ideology viewpoint, that male figures usually have bad motives within a narrative. This is also apparent in the widely known novel-based film Gone Girl, where the antagonist, Amy Dunn, frames her own husband for her own murder by using a string of psychological games. We also adapted this idea into our own production as we also developed a psychological thriller. This can be denoted by the demographic through the usage of the light flicker, as this connotes the instability of the character. We also made use of Barthes' Enigma code, which strongly relies on mystery to drive the narrative. We incorporated this into the opening by making the decision not to identify the antagonist in any way and by having hands covered by leather gloves, which are a common convention within the mise-en-scène of props within the thriller genre. Within the narrative, the target of the antagonist's motive is a male teenager. This conflicts the dominant ideology that males are the stronger gender and drive the narrative, as stated in John Berger's theory, as typically men act and women appear. Carrying on from this, it therefore conflicts Laura Mulvey's theory on the male gaze, as this focuses on the voyeuristic qualities within a narrative. But by our choice of mise-en-scène and camera shots being so close up and fast, the audience is left wondering whether the antagonist is a male or a female until further on in the narrative. The lighting used throughout was mainly low-key and desaturated. This was achieved by using a 3-point lighting system whilst on set and then altering the brightness using a piece of software called Final Cut Pro. And then we overlaid a filter called Cool Tones, which left a blue tint over the shots, making them feel cold and therefore connoting the isolation to the audience. We also used a lot of jump cuts within the opening, as this builds up tension and evokes fearful feelings within the target audience. This is also present in the opening of Seven. Seven was a largely influential opening that we took the most inspiration from in terms of lighting, choice of mise-en-scène and camera shots within our research. We kept the shots very close up and props tight fitted in the frame, as this helped us to control what the audience pay attention to and what information they could decode from the scene, as we wanted this to be as close to the information that we encoded as possible. Encoding and decoding was a model proposed by Stuart Hall. Following on from our previous point about mise-en-scène, we used a large amount of props which were tools. This came from the idea of the effect props have on the audience through the analysis of the opening of the film The Widowmaker. This was as a range of props were used in the opening sequence, such as needles and pills. We found this opening extremely interesting as it intrigues the audience without showing a central character. Due to us also adapting the technique of not identifying a protagonist or antagonist, we used subtle hints to connote that the figure shown in our opening was the antagonist. This uses props narrative theory, as we have included one of the 7 typical characters apparent in every narrative. This character is the villain. This denotes to the audience that the villain will do or say something to jeopardise the hero or protagonist from the equilibrium. This is using Todorov's theory.